Hello and welcome to the Daily Ramble here on Claret and Booze. My name's Gary and I've got a ton of news for you today. Some of it you might know already, but there's a few interesting updates in there, as well as we're going to go ahead and look ahead to Thursday night at the London Stadium against Baka Topola. And there are some interesting selection dilemmas for the manager in that one. So before then, if you give this video a watch, if you like it, please subscribe to our channel Claret and Booze. It helps us very much. Give the video a like and hit the bell notification icon. So first of all, on with the news. So it's going to be a real ramble, this one. Going to start off with Edison Alvarez, who got a dead leg. No, he didn't get a dead leg. He got cramp the other night. And he had to go off, sadly. He had to go off. It wasn't thought to be a problem. It was related to his flight being delayed back from Mexico duty. And so he had to go off and kind of leave us a little bit exposed against Man City. And it's a shame. It was a real shame, because I think that might have, if Addy stayed on, maybe things would have turned out a bit different. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to be probably rested. They're saying he's not ready or he's injured for it. I'm suggesting he's being rested for the Liverpool game on Sunday so as he can get his fitness back. That's what I believe. Next up, a new contract for Michail Antonio. So he's going to actually end his career with West Ham United. And I don't think that's a bad thing, to be honest. I think he has continued to be our number one striker this year. That will continue as long as this regime is in place. And so, however, I like to believe that, given his age, that there will be some kind of new role for him next season in terms of, well, I suppose it depends whether he can keep himself really fit or not. He looks very fit at the moment. Can he extend that for another year? If so, he might end up being the first choice again. However, if there is a new regime and/or if age catches up with him, he might end up being a bit of a bit part player. But either way, I think it's really positive. I like Mickey. We've got a lot of time for Mickey on this channel, and it's good to see him want to end his career with West Ham. And he turned down a few offers in the summer. Well, he didn't turn them down, but the club turned them down because various Saudi clubs wanted a nice bargain out of us, and they weren't getting one. So then next up, we've got Connor Coventry and Ben Johnson. They're both not being given new contracts with the club. They're letting their deals will expire in the summer and they'll leave on a free, both of them. I don't think, if you're looking at the selections and the substitutes bench, I don't think they figure anywhere in our plans at the moment. It is a shame whenever you see young players leave. But at the same time, I think there's plenty of young players who are coming through from that great team that won the double last year who could take their place. And I suppose at the moment they are just occupying a squad place. Yeah. And I don't see the point in that. I kind of side with the club on this. What is the point in having a player there, like one of those two guys who could be getting regular football elsewhere? What's the point in having them there as a kind of squad placeholder? You can't do things like that out of loyalty or because they've come through our youth system. They've got to be up to scratch, and I don't think either of them particularly are. Next up, we have Mohamed Kudus, who seems to be settling in by all accounts. He's made big buddies, big friends with Joseph Anang, the youth team goalkeeper. And the third choice overall goalkeeper, I think. And because he's of Ghanaian heritage, so they've got something in common. But also, he's actually said, Kudus, for those of you that were maybe wondering if he was getting a little bit irritated at no football time, even though he's only been here about 2 weeks, it doesn't sound like he is. He said everybody in the locker room has made him feel have helped him and tried to make him settle in so fast. So that's what we like to hear. That's good. I mean, it appears to be quite a happy dressing room at the moment, so it's probably quite a nice place, a nice environment for a young player to land. And next up, we have Vladimir Coufal. Now, as you would have heard, hopefully, if you watched our Sunday night show, we had a long discussion around Vladimir Coufal and Naif Aguerd. Because if you go back to the City game at the weekend, there were a few, they were the two that we picked out as being quite weak at key moments that led to Man City goals. And I think in both cases, Coufal and Aguerd, it's not the first time. In fact, it's the umpteenth time that these players have been involved in goals. I wasn't personally happy with the way Soufal backed off Doku. He should have fouled him outside the box, taken a yellow card. And Aguerd, what he was doing with that second goal, I just don't know. But anyway, Aguerd's already got a long contract. But Soufal, apparently the manager is considering giving him a contract extension. Now, this falls into the same category for me as Souček, as Thomas Souček, because he's just signed a 4-year deal. A 4-year deal off the back of a season where he was anything but impressive, right? Now, he's been better this year, that's for sure. So it does suggest that maybe his role in the Declan Rice team was, his role was sort of subservient to Declan Rice in that it took a second priority. Declan Rice was the focus. And so I guess in that context, you can semi-forgive last year. However, I think we saw against City on Saturday that Souček, when he's playing against the ball playing midfield, he does tend to get a little bit lost. And I don't think, going back to, I couldn't believe it when we gave him a 4-year deal. Why the hell did we do that? Why not 2 years? Why not 3 years? Why 4 years? That's a long, long time. I mean, and Soufal, he's getting on a bit now. He's not getting any quicker. In fact, he's getting slower, which is bad for a fullback stroke wingback. I wonder what kind of contract extension it is. Is it just an extra year or something? Because surely Soufal is not the long-term solution to that right-back slot. He just can't be. He cannot be the long-term solution. And again, this ain't personal. I like Soufal as a man. I like his commitment. Same with Souček, but you got to look upon it as the quality. Do they bring the quality that's required when we're upgrading the team all over the pitch? Why are we not upgrading those positions as well? Well, in fact, the question is, why is Souček still in a team when there's no room for him? Anyway, next news item. Jesse Lingard. You couldn't have a show without Jesse Lingard. Now, according to reports today, a deal with West Ham is considered unlikely. So this was after it being considered very likely last week. So this is a twisty-turny story. Apparently, Everton are interested with their new owners, 777 of the USA, who have got a successful track record in running clubs into the ground. So I don't think they're going to be spending a ton of money, and therefore a freebie in Lingard for a team that's struggling so much might be an attractive proposition. Who knows? But either way, it looks like West Ham are calling their interest. I don't know why it is. I don't know whether it's because he hasn't gained his fitness back, or he turned up in terrible condition, or they just don't fancy him and he might be perhaps a disruptive influence. I mean, last time he wasn't. Last time he was a major addition to the dressing room. But again, that was when we had Mark Noble and co. sort of enforcing a certain way of working within the squad, and I think we saw that changed with Declan Rice last year. The return of mobile phones and stuff like that, and you honestly don't want to let Jesse anywhere in a changing room with his mobile phone, do you? Because he's a TikTok superstar. At least that's what he wants to be. Anyway, look, it gets my vote if we don't sign him. I don't think we need him, but we still might. Watch this space. So let's talk about Thursday night. We welcome the Giants, Baka Topola, down to the London Stadium. Never heard of them. I don't know anything about them either, so I'm not going to add much value with regards to an opposition preview. But then again, I think it's one of those sides that we don't have to worry too much about in terms of they are the weakest in the group by some distance. You've only got to look at their record. And we should beat them comfortably, even with with not our first team. We could have a significantly weakened team and still beat them, as long as we keep some of our first team players like Paqueta, etc., on the bench for any late emergency that might happen, because football's a funny game, isn't it? So firstly, we know already that Alvarez is out. So there are two players I'm interested in here. So Mavropanos and Mohamed Kudus. Now, surely, this is debut time for both of those guys, isn't it? I mean, if you could play Kudus on the right. Please God, he doesn't play Kudus on the right and Bowen in the middle. I think I would love to see Kudus on the right with Antonio up front. That would be ideal, and I'd like to see Benny on the left as well. Let's see an all-out attacking approach. Let's not let this negative brand football infect our European campaign, right? It didn't last year. We tended to be a little bit more on the front foot in many of the European games. So Mavropanos, I'm itching to see him because he can play right back, as we've already discussed. There is a potential vacancy there. He can play centre back, albeit he's right-sided, not left-sided. So, but potentially it wouldn't be the first time we've played somebody in there. I suspect Ogbonna will get a game on Thursday night at left side and Mavropanos at right side. So Agüed and Zuma will get a rest. And I suspect Kera will get a run out instead of Soufal as well. And again, Kera's like the forgotten man at the moment. He probably just wants to go back to Germany, doesn't he? And it leaves us with so many options if we do this. I think that Paqueta will get a rest. I don't know about Ward-Prowse. I think Ward-Prowse will play if he's fit. And also Thomas Souček, because he plays in every single game, will play. But again, against a team like this, that shouldn't be a problem. As long as we put enough flair players on the pitch to open them up, Ward-Prowse can open up a team. We'll still be strong with him in the side from set pieces. Kudus, we haven't got a clue what Kudus can do yet, albeit we've seen the show reels and we know how great he was for Ajax and Ghana. Well, let's give him a whole 90 minutes. And I know it's not Premier League, but let's give him a whole 90 minutes and see what he does and put him in his right position. Not in don't play him as a striker. He's an emergency striker, not a regular striker. He is basically he plays on the right side of midfield in a wide role. So I want to see his pace. I really want to see him run at players. He's got all the tricks, and we paid a fortune for him. Most importantly, so it's about time he started getting some games. So yeah, Kudus, Mavropanos. Let's see debuts from them on Thursday night. That will make it worth the price of entrance alone, I suspect. I'm excited personally about both of them. I expect you are as well. Incidentally, could be a bit of a dodgy referee on Thursday. By the way, I can't go now. I can't go on Thursday. I bought me tickets and can't go, but luckily I found a home for the tickets. Referee Philip Glover. Yeah, sounds like an English bloke, but it's actually Filip Glover, Slovakian, age 35. He's actually a relative newbie to refereeing, having at age 35 only refereed 220 games. For a referee, what's that? 5 seasons, 6 seasons, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so he must have started refereeing about 27, 28. Anyway, he's a bit excitable, a little bit excitable. In those 220 games so far, he has dished out no less than 823 yellow cards. Work that out, do the math, about 4 a game, right? That ain't that high actually. But I suspect his peaks and troughs anyway. And 31 reds. Now this was written as a headline, and when I read it earlier I thought, blimey, now I look at it, ain't really that bad, is it? 31 reds in 220 games. Oh, maybe that is high. Maybe that is quite high. But anyway, apparently he's a bit excitable, and he's likely to be dishing those cards out left, right, and centre. VAR, European VAR, which is better than domestic VAR, is likely to be involved helping him as well. Why is European VAR better than our VAR? Do we not use Stockley Park for the European VAR? I bet we don't. I'd love to know. If you know, put that in the comments. And if you've got any other comments as well, just leave them. We read them all. And that is me done for this lovely Wednesday ramble. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Claret and Booze on YouTube. Give the video a like and hit the bell notification icon to be made aware of future shows. Until next time, see you soon. And come on, you irons.